Welcome to the Flexible Curricula channel, your one-stop for anything education with your host, Nate Berman. Though we normally consult for schools and districts, we also strive to help parents who really want to be in the know for their kids' education. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, share, and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. If you like what you see and want to see more of our videos, hit that subscribe button. Today, our video is all about how much time students spend at their desk in a typical school day. Now, with the increased pressures put upon schools from standardized testing, and it defines them as a success or a failure, schools are much more prone to greatly reduce recess time, if at all, if there is recess left at all, and to cut or reduce the amount of specials, which that includes music, gym, and art. And they do this in order to maximize class time in math and English language arts in order to help in the idea of pursuing better test scores, because it's all about the test scores. Now, there are multiple problems with this approach, though I do understand the idea and the thought behind pursuing this approach. It is problematic. First of all, children in today's society have less staying power than ever before. Why? Because part of it is television and online programming. It exacerbates this problem. Why? Even children's friendly educational programming such as Sesame Street, every 3 seconds the scene changes or the vantage point of which you look at the camera angle changes. Why? For constant stimulation change that help keep the kids plugged in and constantly boom, boom, boom. Internet, fast speeds, constant need to know information, ask Alexa or so on. People do this in order to move forward and to pursue constant feed of information with instant answers. Now, the problem with this is also some might feel that, oh, well, they have ADHD. Well, not everyone who we say has ADHD really has that. In fact, in France, there was an extensive study, and in France, doctors address the problem quite differently. They first examine the sleep patterns and food, the regular diet of the patient that comes in. And 75% of the time, that child does not have ADHD, but the diet that they take, and most of which is questionably nutritional, and there's also the situation that they're not getting enough sleep. Now, numerous cognitive studies have been done to show that for every hour on average that a person gets of less sleep, their IQ drops 10 points. So they're not going to be as smart as they potentially could be because of a lack of sleep. Also, various lack of sleep symptoms known as irritability, difficulty focusing, all of these things are exacerbated when sleep deprivation becomes chronic. Then also diet. If you're not eating healthy food, you're not going to be as effective as you could be if you are eating healthy. And whether or not there is some healthy food mixed with unhealthy, that's something that makes it a very difficult situation and not one that schools are able to fully address themselves. It has to be cooperation between parents and school to address that. But realize that that is a competing factor for getting the best out of students when they're in the school. Now, there's also a lack of continued engagement in a traditional setting. Kids tune out these days when dealt with frontal presentation most of the time. They don't want to be talked to, depends on the topic, but usually not so much. They need to be pulled in, they need to be engaged. Now, for a lot of students, these specials, music, art, gym, that gives them the meaning and the desire to come to school. They want to come to school for art or music or gym. And recess is a valuable point in elementary school also, in order to come and have those opportunities for social development as well as for motor skill development within these activities, which give such an opportunity for students who would otherwise struggle in a traditional classroom setting, a chance to have an opportunity to flourish in school and have a desire to come to school, and that use that to help in, increase the desire and engagement of these students. Now, there's also a problem with high stakes testing. The issue is that there's a lot of stress put on the district leadership to make sure that their schools are doing well. This is passed on to school administrators, which pass the stress on to teachers, which pass the stress on to the students. They can say, oh, well, that's not the students that are dealing with the high stress. I guarantee you, when the teachers are stressed because they feel that their school could be labeled a failing school or drop in terms of its ratings and rankings, they end up, it's easy to pick up that stress and feel that stress. And you know this, anytime you're in a room with someone stressful, you start stressing. It's natural. They've done that with lab rats to see this situation, and they've done this with people in experiments and psychological experiments to see how people react with these type of impulses. And they find that when surrounded by stress, you're going to get stressed. You can't help but to avoid it. You can't help to avoid it because it's right there around you. So the question is, how can we overcome these tendencies of cutting recess and these specials, which every student needs? So the first thing is, when you work on skills, it should be a cross-curricular nature, because if you are building strong skills, social skills, as well as academic skills within the classroom, then you are able to help facilitate quicker learning. And if there's quicker learning and a chance for students to pull it in from multiple directions, they have a much greater chance of being successful. Also, make learning hands-on and engaging to students. Students don't want to be talked to, they want to be involved. I know that I had put together for a couple different schools a hands-on elementary school science program that went from kindergarten through 5th grade in order to actually help transform their learning from a textbook approach to an engaged student inquiry-based approach. And there's lots of development that can be done with this. Also, understand that students who are healthier as a whole, if they're eating healthier and sleeping better, their minds are going to be, and getting the exercise they need from recess and having the mental breaks they can from art and music and gym in recess, their minds are going to be able to have greater opportunity to create better learning. They're more motivated, they're more engaged. There's a better, an easier desire to be able to facilitate greater learning. Now, I want to thank you for watching the Flexible Curricula channel. Once again, if you would like to see more of what we have, hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and share. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below how gym, art, or music made a big difference in your life. Or if you have an idea for an upcoming video, please share that as well. Please feel free to contact me at nateb@flexiblecurricula.com if you have any desires for your school or district to have some guidance in growing your students towards academic excellence. Thank you.